Morning, I'm Jon Thelen. Today I'm Fish Ed. We're all pulling some lead core line, and what we're going to talk about today is how to fish lead core line, and specifically how to fish lead core line when you're in super rough water. I mean, you look at what's coming at me here from behind today, and I'll tell you what, it's big and nasty wind, and it's creating big and nasty waves. And the best way to fish today for these fish that are out in the basin is the way we're fishing with lead core line. Stay right where you're at. Fish Ed's coming up. Ooh, there's one right there. Look at that. Man, we're dealing with some tough conditions today. It's a big, big wind. Kind of day where a lot of times you just take the day off and stay at the cabin, but man, I hate doing that. You know, I mean, if I can get out and fish, I'll do it. And even if it means just having to change my tactics a little bit or change how I'm doing something, I'd much rather get out on the water and fish, even on a day like today. We're pulling lead core today, and what we're going to talk about today is just how to do it. You know, I get asked a lot of times, how do you do lead core? What is the deal? And you know, the first thing I would tell you about lead core is really nothing more than a delivery system. It's just a line that's going to help you deliver a lure to the right depth, be it out in deeper water or in current. But boy, I'll tell you, as trolling's evolved over the years, we found more and more and more that you can use lead core to get shallow diving lures down deep. Ooh, that's a big wave right there, man. And that's exactly what we're doing here today. We're fishing out in the basin, and these fish are deep. And I'm trying to put shallow diving stick baits down there deep. And the reason is I'm in a shiner-based system today. I'm in a system where I've got longer, skinnier minnows that swim a little bit tighter. This isn't a shad-based system, it's not perch. Here it's shiner-based, so stick bait is just awesome. And lead core is about the only way that I'm gonna get that tight swimming stick bait down there today. It's a really big fish to start our day. This is a really nice fish. A few feet to go, he's right under the surface. This is one of them times where you're dealing with what you're dealing with here. In this wind, everything's tougher. Where are you, buddy? There he is, big walleye. Big walleye to start our day, giant fish. Look at that. Wow. Whew. Man, I'll tell you what, he ate that whole stick bait. Wait till I show you what I'm gonna show you here. Number one, it's a giant fish to start our day, but I'm gonna show you why we're fishing the baits we're fishing. Because I'll tell you what, when you see this, you're gonna understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. Whether you're fishing the Great Lakes or big water like we are today on inland water, this is a phenomenal tactic. But I want you to look here. I'm going to see if I can do this without getting hooked or hurting the fish. Look at this lure all the way down that walleye's mouth. You can see he ate that whole stick bait. I got to be really careful with my hand in here, and I want to get this fish unhooked and not hurt a gill. See if I can just turn it out of here. Now if I can get this one that's up top in her lip, we'll be good to go. Look at that. That's a Bomber 15A stick bait. That's what this big walleye attacked. Look at that fish. That's a giant. That is awesome. What a way to start the day. I won't get that fish if I'm not fishing lead core. There's no way I'm gonna get down to her. Let's get this fish back in the water, and then we'll talk a little bit about this. Come here, big girl. Let me show you what this is and how we're doing this. Number one As you can see, I'm gonna come up here a little closer to you. That stick bait has a tiny, tiny little lip on it. And because we've got that tiny, tiny little lip on that stick bait, what happens is this lure is only gonna dive 6 to 8 feet on its own. So if I'm not using a mechanism to get this thing down deep, maybe it's a snap weight, you know, maybe it's a downrigger. Today for me, especially in this wind, I think the best way is with lead core, because lead core, what it is it's a line that's got a lead inner and then it's got a Dacron coating on it. And what it'll do is actually sink. So for every 30 feet of lead core I let out, I'm gonna sink 5 feet. So what I'm doing here is I'm just running this down about 6 colors. Now a color is 30 feet, okay? So for every 30 feet I get 5 feet in depth, and that's 1 color. And that makes it a lot easier. So whether you're using a line counter or not, you can actually figure out exactly how deep you're running. 30 feet of lead core is 5 feet of depth. So I'm actually letting out about 180 feet of that lead core, and I'm making sure that I'm down 30 feet with the lure. Then I've got about a 25-foot, 10-pound leader, and he's giving me just a couple extra feet of dive off the dive curve of this Bomber 15A. It's putting me at about 32 feet. I'm fishing 33 to 34. Just cruising along here. There's fish stacked up out here in this basin. It's the only way I'm gonna get that lure to him today. What a start. What a start. It's windy, but it's gonna be warm today. You can feel that heat coming. Warming up fast. There's one right there. Holy smokes. Just reset this line. Went just a little bit without catching a fish. I just reset it just to make sure I reeled it up, just to make sure I didn't have mud on it. Just set it back down, hook this fish up. Gotta like that. I think we got something going with this color. You know, it's one of the cool things about the Bomber lure family too, is they put all of these cool colors on this stuff, and a lot of it's been driven over the years by the Great Lakes. But I'll tell you what, these cool off-the-wall colors, you know, today I'm getting all these fish on a pink lure. I mean, they're just eating this. It's kind of a pink translucent, and they obviously like it. I mean, they're snapping on it this morning. Oh yeah, good eye, good eater-sized fish. Make sure we get them. You get a fish on the surface like that, just keep them coming. No use stopping. Nice eater fish. Oh, look at that. Oh, lure flew out of his mouth. There's a lure right there. Fish just sat there on the surface for just a second, and I got him. He sat there. I was just swinging the net out there to get him, and this guy just hung there for a second for me. Look at that. That 16-inch walleye had every chance in the world to get away, and he didn't take off. I think he deserves the opportunity to get out of here. I think we'll get plenty today, but man, that was cool. That lure flew out of his mouth, and he just hung there for a second, and I was able to scoop him up. That's awesome. Let me show you this lure I'm using real quick. Simple deal. This is a Bomber 15A. Been around forever, man. Bomber lures, from saltwater to freshwater, doesn't matter. They're all water lures. I mean, they catch fish anywhere and everywhere you go. Great high pitch rattle in them. Super bait for walleyes. Walleyes really like that high pitch rattle. And the other thing, like I was talking about, is all the cool colors. Now you can get Bomber lures in a whole variety of sizes. You get 24As, 25As, 15As, deep divers, shallow divers. Today I'm using the shallow diver in a funky color that I don't even know the name of. But let me tell you something, you can find the names of all these different colors by just looking on the website. But man, this stuff is cool. It just flat out catches fish day in and day out. Great actions, great colors, great noise. That Bomber family of lures has always been one of my favorites. I mean, they just flat out catch fish. Doesn't matter if you're saltwater fishing or if you're freshwater fishing for walleyes. It just makes no difference. They're just fish catchers. There's one right there. Look at that. Ooh, that feels like a good fish. I think that's the trickiest thing there is in fishing. He's fighting a fish in big wind. It's another good fish. Get rid of my sunglasses here. Tell you what, this is where you do wish you had somebody with you to kind of help the process. There he is, right there, good fish. Another great eye. Look at that. Wow. Another awesome walleye. Holy smokes. Oh. I tell you what, this is a big fish technique day in and day out. Let's see if we can get this guy unhooked and I'll show him to you. I'm just gonna kind of hold him on the floor while I unhook him, if I can. Beautiful big walleye. What a way to wrap up a day, man. This is big fish stuff that we're doing here. Pulling cranks out in big wind in the basin, pulling big cranks like these Bomber 15As, and I'll tell you what, getting them down there with lead core and fish like that right here, they'll eat them. They'll eat them one after another. That's just awesome. What a way to wrap up a day.